Hey there, YouTubers. Kitten Hoarder here, and you're watching Session Report, the show that takes you to the gamer's table to share in the surprises that come out during play. And I don't know what time of year it is where you live, but around here it is finally February. I'll just give that a minute to sink in. Yeah, that's right. That means that I am finally going to continue my long-deferred play of Pandemic Legacy, Season 1. I don't wonder if there's going to be a Season 2. That would be pretty cool. In any case, though, we left off at the end of January, and if you don't know about Pandemic Legacy, I'm not going to repeat it here. So go back and watch my Pandemic Legacy early January video. But one very important note, this game is full of secrets, as you can see from the top secret dossier that's sticking out of my box here. It's full of secrets, and it is a very linear narrative, which means that if you begin at January and end in December, you should have a sort of an ongoing story. Now, I don't know all the details of the story yet because I am playing this game completely blind. Every moment of the game that I play, I am filming it. Even though it did take a while between my last game and this one, I am filming every moment I spend with the game. So I don't know all of the details, but I do know there are going to be some secrets along the way, and there is going to be a continuous evolving story. So, if you haven't watched my early January videos, I highly recommend you go back to early January, proceed from there before you start this February video. Unless, of course, you're already familiar with the Pandemic Legacy storyline and you just want to see my personal experience with it. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get started. So, I was performing setup, and actually the first thing that I need to do is read the mission briefing, which I have not yet done. Alright, the very first thing, draw cards off the top of the Legacy deck until we reach one that says stop. Read the mission briefing, and integrate new cards, if any, to the game. So, it says draw this card just before you set up your first game in February. So I'm going to take a look at this card. You ready? All right. February mission briefing. We have to get ahead of this new Codavirus, as it is unlike any we've seen in nature. We've managed to get authorization to start quarantining the hotspots, treat the viruses we know about, and keep Coda under control until more work can be done on it. Coda has mutated again, and now it can no longer be treated using any known techniques. Continue on with your existing objective. Open and resolve one at a time. 9GA16. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So let's take this mission briefing here. We're going to sort of put it over to the side, and I do have these. Right? I did not get anything that said stop, so we're going to hold on to that. But first we have to open and resolve one at a time. 9GA16. So, this is a teeny tiny little door. Let's see what happens. Okay. Apply the sticker over Coda 403A. Cannot be treated, cannot be cured. Alright, if you remember from my previous game, the blue disease was designated Coda 403A. Treat disease requires 2 actions, cannot be cured. It has now mutated once again, and it cannot be cured at all, or treated at all. So, going to apply this sticker over here. Coda 403B. Alright. And there we have it. Cannot be treated or cured. That is a pretty bad virus. Alright, now we're going to open door G. Okay. I think these got out of order again. No. Here's door G. I don't know, it's odd. It goes from 8. Where's 10? I guess maybe this was 9 and this was 10. I'm not sure. Alright. Door G, this is a big one. All right, let's see what's behind door G. You now have confidential clearance, open package 1. And this. Quarantine. Spend an action to place a quarantine marker in your current city. Only one quarantine may be in a city at a time. When a player is instructed to add any amount of disease markers to the city of any color, remove the quarantine marker instead of adding disease markers. If you're out of quarantine markers and do the quarantine action, remove a quarantine marker already in play and add it to your city. Is this... I think this might be rules. So I'll add that to the rules in a little bit. All right, I'm supposed to open door A now. So let's get to door A. Where is door A? All right. L, W, C. See, they're all out of order. That's why. Okay, door A. Here we go. Ooh, this one's a bit weird. Yeah. Relationships. Okay, here we go. This is definitely new rules. Relationships. When creating a character, give them a relationship with an already created character. Both characters get the same relationship, e.g., both get friend stickers. Fill in the name of the other character in the relationship. Each character can have 2 relationships. Interesting. Okay. You know what we haven't done yet is open that package. I wonder if I'm supposed to open the package first before continuing to resolve these doors. So let's take a look at what's inside package number, what did it say? 1. All right, package 1. Let's tear it open. And of course we have these quarantine tokens. All right, let's take this out of the box here. How does one get that out of the package? I wonder if I was not supposed to just open the package like so. Huh. Well, here we go. I suppose I can just remove this. I wonder what you're supposed to do there. Okay. So that package has been done, and that's just the quarantine markers. It's strange that these don't give you instructions for, like, put these in the rules. But these are clearly rules text. Okay, let's continue on opening packages. Number 1. All right. And this one. There we go. Relationships. These are those stickers they were talking about. Friends with whoever, rivals with whoever. Okay. And we also have door number 6, which again is over here. More relationships. Family members with and co-workers with. Interesting. Okay. So, we've got all these stickers. And not actually a whole lot of information about what to do with them. Relationships. When creating a character, give them a relationship with an already created character. Has the backs of these doors... No, the backs of the doors are what I've been using. Seems like this ought to have had more information about what to do with those. You know what? Maybe these cards are going to help me. So I'm going to keep drawing these cards. Actions, quarantine, place a quarantine mark. So these are new, looks like new character cards. Okay. And then we have a new type of record. What the heck is all of this? Ooh, this card sort of folded over. Service record. Okay. Oh, my goodness, it's a new character. The Quarantine Specialist. Once per turn, you may use the Quarantine action to place a quarantine marker anywhere on the board. Quarantine markers are never removed from the city you are in. Interesting. Okay. And it says stop. Do not draw any more cards. Draw this card at the end of your first game in February before selecting your game end upgrades. So this will go over here. And we will place this over here. And we will put this over here for the new character, the Quarantine Specialist. Alrighty. So, I got a lot of cleanup to do, so I'm going to sort of clean up this area here and figure out what to do with all of these stickers and whatnot. And I will return to you in a moment. Alright, YouTubers, continuing with setup, and before I go any further, I just wanted to say that I've solved the mystery of the stickers. It's not much of a mystery. I'm sure it's mentioned somewhere in the rules. It's just been, you know, half a year since I played this game. But those dossier windows that have the letters behind them, there was space in the rule book for rule sticker B, C, D, etc. So I just stuck those stickers in there. I figured that's what I was meant to do. I just had forgotten, I guess, that it specifically said which rule sticker goes there in the rule book itself. In addition, I figured out, or I looked online and I clarified the rules for relationships. And what I'm going to have to do actually is only characters who are new characters get a relationship. So my plan is I'm going to start this game with two unused characters. My new one, whom I've dubbed Selen Estrella, and Naomi Hunter, who I didn't play in the first two, and then two other ones. And so then these new characters will each get a relationship with an existing character. So I haven't finished that step yet, but I wanted to turn on the video mainly because it is time for me to pick my 4 funded events. If you recall, my funding level is 4, so I get 4 funded events. And I think there's a couple of things that I want to do here. So, since the blue disease cannot be treated anymore, I think maybe I'm going to take this. Normally I'm not a big fan of this one, but remove 2 disease cubes from the board. Now that doesn't say treat the disease, so I'm thinking I can still use that to remove blue cubes. So I'm going with that. And what are the other 3 that I'd like to do? This flexible aid package seems like a pretty good one, so I'm going to take that one. I remember I had that the other time. I don't think I need this government grant because I have 4 starting research stations already on the board from my game end upgrades from previous games. So I'm not going to do that one. Let's see. Flexible aid package gives me extra actions, so I don't really necessarily need the borrowed time. Airlift might be a good one for this one. We'll go with airlift. And this resilient population is always a good one. But should I go with One Quiet Night? I think I'm going to do One Quiet Night. That's one of my favorite events. Do that instead of the airlift. So, these are not going to be used this game. I'll just put them up here. These will be shuffled in to the player card deck. I just wanted to turn the camera back on while I was doing that. You know, I'm really pissed off, though. I don't know what marker I was using when I did these, but I could not find a permanent marker with a fine enough tip to write this character's name in a way that did not overlap with their job title. So, sort of annoyed by that. Anyway, I've named the quarantine specialist Selen Estrella. You may recognize that. This is a little bit more obscure than the other ones, except maybe Derek Stiles. But Saint Estrella is a character from Demon's Souls. She basically gave up her soul to a demon to grant peace to the lepers and wretches and cast-offs of humanity who live in the Valley of Defilement. But she did not have a first name in that game, so I took a first name from another character who you can also find in that area and sort of mashed them together. She is Selen Estrella. So these are going to be two characters in this game. All right, let's continue with setup. Okay, so I have done more of the setup. I've got all of my starting disease cubes out on the board. As you can see, the black disease is causing problems yet again. The blue disease is thankfully pretty inert, except the first card I drew was Montreal. So there's 3 cubes there, and remember, they cannot be treated. That means if I'm going to do any quarantining, it's going to be up in Montreal. Down here, Sydney and Jakarta are a little problematic, and we have a couple of yellow diseases. It's actually sort of spread out, but most of the cards I drew there are black. We have our 4 characters. I'm not sure what I did differently this time compared to last time. It does not seem like I have nearly as much space to work with, but these are my 4 characters I've selected. I've got Selen Estrella, the quarantine specialist, and these are in a randomized order. Derek Stiles, the medic, Sid Highwind, the dispatcher, and Naomi Hunter, the scientist. Like I said I was going to, I've got the 2 new characters, and since they're new, they're technically being created this game, even though I named Naomi in a previous game. She hasn't been played before, so we get to select relationships for them. So what could be the relationship? Now, the family member says, if you start your turn in the same city as a family member, gain 1 extra action. Co-workers says, you may share knowledge with a co-worker as long as one of you is in the city of the card that is being passed. The researcher can pass any card. That is seriously cool. And of course, if somebody wants to be co-workers with the researcher. Friends says, you start your turn in the same city as a friend. You may look at but not rearrange the top 2 cards of the player deck. And rivals says, when a rival plays or discards a card, you may immediately discard any 2 cards to pick it up. Now that's pretty cool too. You get to play cards multiple times. Now, who would benefit from these particular relationships? I think having Derek Stiles having some sort of a relationship would be good. But who's he going to have a relationship with? The quarantine specialist or the scientist? Let's see here. The co-workers is pretty darn cool. I definitely don't want Sid to have that. Now I know Derek Stiles is going to be stomping all over the board, trying to cure diseases. And the quarantine specialist is going to want to stay in particular places to enact those quarantines. So maybe it would be good to have co-workers, Derek Stiles and Naomi Hunter. So Naomi Hunter is now and forthwith co-workers with Derek Stiles, the scientist and the medic. They're old work buddies. They did their clinicals at the same hospital back when they were in med school. And I need to write that down. Okay. So Derek is co-workers with Naomi. I guess I can make this fairly small. Naomi H. Naomi is co-workers with Derek S. Okay. And then my other character, Selen Estrella. Let's see here. I think she is friends with Sid Highwind. Should she be friends with Sid Highwind or rivals with Sid Highwind? Because rivals is pretty cool. When a rival plays or discards a card, you may immediately discard any 2 cards to pick it up. And remember, he's got that ability that he can play cards to move other characters around the board on his turn. So he could use chartered flights or direct flights using cards from his hand. So if they could be swapping cards back and forth between them, that would be pretty cool. I think I'm going to go with that. They're rivals. Or should I save that for a better character? I sort of don't even know if I like this Quarantine Specialist yet. And of course, I don't have to use characters who are currently in the game. I could give them relationships with characters like the Generalist. I sort of want the Generalist to be family members with somebody, because that could give her up to 6 actions. That would be pretty darn cool. So I'm not going to do the family members yet, actually, because I don't want her to be family members with Selen. So let's go with the rivals idea. It seems to work. Okay. So Selen Estrella is Rivals of Catan with Sid Highwind. And that does it for the relationship cards for now. I will put those up here out of the way. And let me write this stuff in. Rivals with Sid H. Rivals with Selen A. And that is that step, and then we will continue with the setup. Alrighty, here we are, and we have one final step before we begin the game, and that is to use my winning bonus from the last month. So this says, for any game played in February, I believe that means this game and the next if I lose this one. After setup and before the first turn begins, remove 1 disease cube from the board and return it to the supply. So, where shall I remove the disease cube from? Now, it seems wise to me, because this blue disease is so terrible, that I should just take this blue cube off the board. Right? This can't even be treated. So I'm just going to take that blue cube off the board to start with. And then we'll deal with the other diseases as we need to. Okay, so that's it. Now it's time to start the first turn, which is Selen Estrella. So she has this remote treatment card. I wonder if I should just do that. Yeah, it seems like a little better. I'm not sure what I was meant to do with these cards. And it sort of seems like, I mean, I know I can tell there's spaces here for adding extra actions, but I think I'm supposed to put them sort of side by side. I'll just go stack them up like this just for consideration of space. And that gives me more space. Because I like space. You know, gotta go to space. So, we're starting with Selen Estrella. So, her 4 actions. First action, she's going to place a quarantine marker anywhere on the board because she is the quarantine specialist. She's going to place a quarantine marker here in Montreal. Montreal has been quarantined. Anytime I would add a cube there. Let me check the quarantine rules again, but I think it's anytime you would add a cube or more to a quarantined city, remove the quarantine marker instead of adding the disease markers. So, sounds fine to me. And she wants to also preferably place a quarantine marker where she ends her turn. Now, I could do a risky maneuver or I could do a less risky maneuver. If I do a risky maneuver, well, actually, where I am right now, oh, there are 3 black cubes. So if I do a risky maneuver, I'm going to ignore those 3 black cubes. The only way this could possibly go wrong on me is if one of these top 2 cards is an epidemic. Because the next player to go is Derek Styles, he can remove all 3 of those immediately. So I think I'm going to risk that. So instead of trying to treat one of these and then have Derek treat the others, I'm going to have her go. Let's see, where should she start? So she has Los Angeles. Can't really do much with that, although we could fly to Los Angeles and start treating disease there. We do have actually 4 blue cards in play. And Naomi, well, I can't cure the blue disease, though. So these blue cards are dead weight for me. The only thing I can use them for is flying around. I just sort of realized that. And that sucks. Well, in that case, London and Chicago, none of these are places I particularly need to go. I mean, I guess I could fly to Chicago. That's so annoying. Okay, I can't cure that freaking blue disease. So, what should she do? I think she should just go around and start getting cubes up off the board. There's not much she can do other than that. So she's going to go. She did 1 action, and she is the blue. So she's going to go 2, 3, like so. And she's just going to go ahead and place a quarantine marker in her city as well. Quarantine the heck out of that place. And then that's the end of her turn. She did 4 actions. So she is going to draw 1. Another blue card, yay. And 2, another event, the One Quiet Night. And then the infection rate is 2, so we're going to draw 2 cards. 1, Tokyo. Where's Tokyo? And 2, Santiago, Chile. All right. So my fairly safe gambit paid off. And now Derek Styles can go 1 and remove every single disease cube from that city. He is pink. 2, 3, 4. And he will draw his cards. He got the flexible aid package. Who shuffled these? And Jakarta. All right, so we're starting to get a couple of cards that aren't blue. All right. So he needs to be thinking about this co-workers ability he has with Naomi Hunter. If either of them is in the right city, they can share knowledge. All right, we're going to draw our 2 infection cards. Bangkok and Baghdad. Okay. And it's time for Sid. I feel like an epidemic is coming at some point in the near future. Sid, remember, he's the dispatcher. He can move people around any way he wants. So I think Sid might actually move. He's brown. He's going to move himself over here. He's going to move the medic over here. And he is not going to do the risky maneuver. He's going to go 3, 4, just to keep Sydney from blowing up. Well, now there's nothing that's at risk of blowing up. So that's pretty good. We're going to do 1, Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, now we've got 3 red cards. 2, Lima. That's good. We've got 2 yellows. And Lagos gets infected. Where's Lagos? And Johannesburg gets infected. So yellow disease is making a bit of a showing today. It's interesting. Okay, now we have Naomi Hunter. So what's Naomi gonna do? She's here. Her rival, or no, she has a coworker. Her coworker is Derek, who has Jakarta, Montreal, and Atlanta. Seems like quarantine is the thing to do here. So she's gonna start spreading out this way, and she's gonna go 1, 2, 3, and quarantine. Okay, and she's gonna draw Tokyo and an epidemic. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. All right, so first thing we do, we move the infection marker up. Second thing we do, we infect the bottom card. Bogota in Colombia. So Bogota gets a big one. And yellow is really making a showing in this game. And then we are going to shuffle. Now remember, I do have the One Quiet Night. If I wanted to prevent Bogota from potential explosion. But that would not really do much harm to me. So I'm not particularly concerned about that. You know what was sort of bugging me was the upside down map on these cards. I figured out that I think what they intended me to do is just sort of flip over the cards like so. 1, Tokyo. 2, Mumbai. But took me a little while to figure that out. Okay. So we are going back to the first player's turn. So that sounds like a good time to turn off the camera and get ready for the next round. Okay. So Selen, I'm trying to figure out what to do with her. I think I want to pass her Los Angeles card at some point to somebody who could use it. But for now, what I think I'm going to do is have her go 1, 2, discard this Essen card as a chartered flight to go to Bogota. That's 3. And then I'm going to have her place a quarantine marker on this city. Now, I could have her be cleaning up this disease, but remember, quarantine markers do not get removed from her cities. So if Bogota comes up, no disease happens, and the quarantine marker remains there. That's pretty cool. So, we're going to draw 1, 2, and she's got Lagos. I'm actually sort of glad I did not get rid of Los Angeles now, because now she's the character with the most yellow cards. She's the one who should start just collecting them. All right, we have Derek Stiles. He has Jakarta and he would like to get it to Naomi Hunter. He is in Jakarta. Well, that's easy. I'll just do that. 1 goes to Naomi. And we'll do 2, 3, and 4. And we have picked up several of the red cubes already. Okay, that was easy turn. We'll do raw 2. 1, 2. And we got our other funded event. I did not shuffle those well, apparently. I'm glad it was that was shuffled poorly and not the epidemic cards, although they do take measures to prevent that. And we have our top 2 cards. You know what else I've been very lucky with? The last 2 games I've played with this blue disease that's so terrible, the blue disease cards don't come up. That's pretty nice. Okay. Istanbul gets 1 black cube. And Johannesburg gets another yellow. All right, we are at Sid Highwind's turn. He has the Lima. So if he could, he would like to give that to Selen. So if he were to go 1, it sort of defeats the purpose of her sitting there. He could spend his entire turn essentially giving her Lima. He'd go 1 to fly directly to her location. 2, move her over to where he is and give her the card. But what might be a better move is for him to go essentially 1, get rid of one of these disease cubes. 2, is there anybody else he wants to move to a location? Naomi wants to be somewhere near Ho Chi Minh City. So I could move her over there. But that doesn't really work out for me very well. I could move... Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of this red disease in a little bit. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And that way, on her turn, Selen can go take that card from him. Ooh. Derek maybe should get warped over there too. So instead of taking that other disease cube, in fact, instead of taking any of the disease cubes, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now Derek is set up to give the Mexico City card. Sid is set up to give the Lima card. And she just needs to grab them. That's perfect. Okay, so Sid's turn is over. He gets San Francisco and Johannesburg. So he's got that 5th yellow card we need to cure that disease. This is an easy game so far. And then we get 2 of these. Bangkok and Jakarta. So there's a Bangkok. There's a Jakarta. Not so bad so far. And we have Naomi. Okay, so Naomi is off in the middle of who knows where. She would like to get to Taipei or Ho Chi Minh City. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen immediately. So instead she's going to go, well, somebody's going to go to Johannesburg anyway. Probably Sid. to give that card away. So what if she went 1, 2, 3, and just for good measure, she's going to put a quarantine marker here in Johannesburg. And that way, on his turn, Sid can then warp himself and some other, and, Selen over to Johannesburg to give that Johannesburg card away. Remember, he can warp characters over to where other characters are. So that's her turn. 1, 2. She got a Khartoum and a Cairo. So let's see here. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's been giving cards away, I guess. And this. Lagos. Where's Lagos? Here we go. And Riyadh. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right. Back to Selen's turn. Okay, this is going to be a great game. That blue disease is not even showing up. It's lurking. Okay. So, Selen is going to go 1. Take Mexico City. 3, and take Lima. And how many cards does that put her at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exactly, and she's about to draw 2. So she needs to play these 2 events, or something's going to get discarded in any case. So we have One Quiet Night and Remote Treatment. I don't think I want to get rid of the One Quiet Night quite yet, but I will play the Remote Treatment card. Remote Treatment. Get rid of 2 cubes from anywhere on the board. Now Derek is about to take care of these, so that's not a concern for me. Nobody is anywhere near Tokyo, so we're going to take 1 from Tokyo at least. And we'll just take this, we'll take this 1 from, anybody going to Bangkok? We'll take this 1 from Bangkok. No, I'll just take these 2 from Tokyo. Has Tokyo come up yet? Yeah, good. Perfect. All right, so then she's going to draw 1 and 2, and she's going to have to discard one of these cards. So she'll discard this New York card because blue is not useful. Oh, this game would have been so much harder if that blue disease actually mattered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's perfect. And we now have Derek Styles. So Derek is going to go ahead and go 1, 2, and he can fly to Atlanta. He could fly to Montreal. Neither of these seem like worthwhile endeavors. So he's going to go 3, 4. He's going to Lagos. Yeah, might as well. We're going to draw 2. 1, 2. Ah, that other epidemic. All right. Second epidemic of the game. So let's see what comes up. Hope it's not a blue one. I know it's going to be a blue one. Oh, nope. Yeah, yellow disease is vicious this game. Lima, 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 Lima. Here we go. Ooh. Right where everybody is. That's sort of bad. That could outbreak and give 2 characters scars. And there's a pretty good chance of it. Move that up. That's actually not very good at all. There's a pretty safe chance that that's going to outbreak and give 2 characters scars. So this would be a pretty good time to play that Quiet Knight card, if I do say so myself. She needs to get rid of that card anyway, because she's about to accept another card from Cid Highwind. Well, she doesn't need to get rid of that card, but she needs to get rid of a card. So we're going to play that Quiet Knight. 1 Quiet Knight is being played. No cards are being drawn this round, or this turn. All right, Cid's turn. He is flying himself. Well, no. First thing he's going to do, he's going to place a quarantine marker here. Then he's going to fly himself and the Maiden Estrella to Johannesburg. That is 1, 2, 3. He's going to give her the Johannesburg card. She now has 5 yellow cards. She can cure the yellow disease. Perfect. We can prevent some outbreaks. I am playing the quarantine rules correctly, right? Let's see. When players instructed, yeah. Sounds right. Yep. Doesn't say what to do with the quarantine markers when they get removed. I assume they go back into the pool of quarantine markers. It is not particularly clear. All right, so that was Cid's turn. He's going to go 1, 2. So he's got Madrid and Osaka. He has 3 red cards now. Got to get these cards to Ms. Hunter. He could have picked up any of those cards that she discarded. That actually, that Rivals is a pretty good card. When a rival plays or discards a card, that could be an event card, right? It doesn't specifically say otherwise. I think I'm going to need to look that one up, but I might have him discard a couple of cards. He just got these 2, so he could discard San Francisco and London and get that 1 Quiet Knight card back. That'd be pretty cool. I'm going to have to look that one up, though. So let me finish out his turn first. And Lima, good thing I put that quarantine marker there. And Jakarta. Perfect. Okay. All right, I'm going to check on that Rivals rule. Okay, I checked, and actually somebody asked about that exact situation, so it's definitely legal. I'm taking this Quiet Knight card back, and we're getting rid of these 2 blue cards, which, again, are useless to us in this game, because that disease cannot be cured. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, but I did not play the 1 Quiet Knight for his turn, so we still have those 2 cards that got turned over. Now it's the Hunter's turn. And she's not really good for anything right now. Now, she was planning on collecting these 2 red cards. Jakarta, well, she has Jakarta. She's planning on collecting 2 red cards. But conceivably, she could collect some black cards instead. And we know that Estrella needs to get rid of those black cards anyway. So what happens if Naomi tries to go after black cards? Well, Estrella is going to have to get there, first of all. And it's going to be either Karachi or Chennai. Karachi or Chennai. That doesn't necessarily seem worth it. Now, she could get this Shanghai card from Derek, because she is co-workers with him. And that seems much more useful. And then she could at least be within range of getting cards from the other characters. So, what's the most efficient way for me to get her back to where the red disease is, to start working on that? I am not sure. Let's see here. I think she's just going to have to essentially walk, unfortunately. Well, she has a Khartoum card, and that's not needed. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, she's going. One, she's going to play this Khartoum card to do a chartered flight anywhere on the board. She's going 2. She can then immediately take this Shanghai card that she needs. 3. And she could, in fact, go to Taipei. Then all that Sid needs to do is warp over there with his ability and give her the Taipei card. But if she goes to Ho Chi Minh City instead, well, she's not going to get there in one move, but she will be within range of both Bangkok and Jakarta, including this research station, which is really important. So I think she's going to do that instead. Okay, that is her turn. We're going to draw. Now she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, so she's going to have to get rid of 1. We'll draw 1. And 2. Oh my god. Well, there's her 4th card she needs. She's going to get rid of the Chicago card. Nobody needs blue cards. Wow. Okay, so she's got the 4 red cards she needs already. All she needs to do is spend them. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, and then we're going to flip over some cards. Lagos. Lagos is getting dangerous. Let's get dangerous. And Istanbul. Alright, luckily the medic is on Lagos. But just to be safe, I think for Selen's first action on her turn, she's going to quarantine Lagos from afar. Okay, and where is she on the board? Because she needs to get to a research station. Unfortunately, she's not really anywhere close to a research station. There's one up in Istanbul. So, let's see, that was 1 action, 2, 3, 4, but then she can't cure. You know what? She doesn't need to quarantine. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. All right. Oh, also, there's a research station right here. Never mind then. 1, 2. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow cards. And we have cured the yellow disease, which means immediately the medic gets rid of these 3 cubes. All right, so that was 1, 2. She's going to quarantine Lima, though. 3. And she's going to head over here. 4. So that she can start sort of be in a position to get rid of some of these black cards or trade them to Naomi on Naomi's turn. Okay, perfect. And we will draw. 1, 2. 1. An epidemic. 2. And Bogota, which we do not need. Epidemic time. Increase. All right, we are now at infection rate 3. Buenos Aires gets an outbreak-ish thingy. Gets infected. And we will intensify. Now this is sort of bad, because there are not enough cards on here to prevent Buenos Aires from having an outbreak. And Buenos Aires is where my research station is. So I definitely don't want that to happen. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that other One Quiet Night card. Where did that go? One Quiet Night? Okay, this is done. And in fact, she could then discard 2 black cards to get that one Quiet Knight card back, or Bogota and 1 black card. You know what? Getting that 1 Quiet Knight card back might be a good idea. So, we definitely don't need Bogota. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. I think she might do that. Now, do we need Chennai or Karachi more? Which one is closer? Chennai is far away, but it's actually right next to a research station. Karachi is sort of in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to get rid of the Karachi card, and we're going to get rid of Bogota, and get that 1 Quiet Knight card back. All right, perfect. And Derek Styles. Now this is perfect for him. Check this out. He's going 1, 2, immediately cure this disease. 3, immediately cure that. 4, immediately cure that. And he's playing his flexible aid package plus these 2 city cards. He's going to get 2 extra actions. 5, and just like that, we have eradicated the yellow disease. Perfect. And then he's going to go from Los Angeles down to Sydney, and we will work on maybe eradicating the red disease this game. Alrighty. Works for me, and now we're going to flip over some cards. Jakarta. Ooh. You do not need to be at a research station to discover a cure for this disease. I forgot that this hemorrhagic fever had a common structure. And Buenos Aires, since that has been eradicated, it no longer gets cubes put out. And Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Oh, why they changed it, I cannot say. You know the song. Uki. Perfect. Alrighty, Sid Highwind's turn. So, what is Sid planning on doing? He's over here in Johannesburg. Nobody needs to be in this part of the world anymore. So, I think what he should probably do is he's going 1. He's going to put a quarantine token down. 2. 3, and he's going to put another quarantine token down. 4. That will prevent any outbreaks from occurring. And we are going to go 1. Lagos does not happen. Oh, wait. Well, first he's going to draw 1, 2. All right, Lagos does not happen. Lima does not happen. Tokyo. All right, Tokyo's getting a red cube, unfortunately. So good. I was hoping to eradicate the red disease this game too. Still could happen though, because first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have cured the red disease. All right, so red disease is cured, hemorrhagic fever is cured. Do not have to be at a research station for that. And we can go let's see. She just wants to be in Chennai. So, unfortunately, there's not really any good way to do that without essentially wasting an action. So she can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any way she does it, she's essentially just moving around the board. So there's no way to really... The only thing she can do is 1, 2, 3, and then maybe put out a quarantine token on one of those locations. And I don't remember if any of them had gotten any red or any cubes this game. So just in case, we'll just quarantine Hong Kong over there. Okay, perfect. And she gets 2 cards, 1 and 2. Oh! She didn't need to be in Chennai. Perfect. Right on. All right. And we will infect 1 Mumbai. 2 Johannesburg doesn't get any. 3 Riyadh. Ooh, Black Disease is getting just a little scary, but not at all scary enough. I have not had any outbreaks this game. These quarantine tokens are something else, man. We get back to Selen Estrella. Okay, so Selen, I think, is... First of all, she's going to quarantine Mumbai. Don't want any outbreaks. 1, and she can warp anywhere she wants. We've cured almost all the diseases we need to cure. Basically, when it's Naomi's turn, we could end the game. And if I can, I'd like to try to eradicate the red disease before then. So I want to sort of set myself up to do that. So I'm thinking ahead. I definitely want to play 1 Quiet Night at the end of this turn. And then Derek can go 1, 2, and then he can't get to Tokyo. So she wants to try and get to Tokyo. So she's going 1, 2, that doesn't give her enough actions. If she quarantines Mumbai, that does not give her enough actions to actually remove a disease cube from Tokyo. Is it worth the risk, though? I mean, having an outbreak, the first one's not bad, but that just makes it more likely that you're going to get riots and collapsed cities and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Oh dear. Okay. So what if she went 1, 2, charter flight to Tokyo, 3, 4. Yeah, she's going to risk it. Because we can definitely eradicate red disease if we do that. So she's going 1, move from research station to research station. 2, discard Chennai, chartered flight up to Tokyo. 3 and 4. We are playing 1 Quiet Night to avoid any infections occurring. 1, 2. Okay. We got Sao Paulo and Delhi. No infections are occurring. So then Derek is going 1, cure everything. 2, cure everything. And just like that, we have eradicated hemorrhagic fever, as well as the yellow disease. We are on fire, hopefully not literally. All right, so that was 2 actions. He really doesn't need to do anything except keep the game going. But there's really not much to do at this location. I mean, he'll just sort of... He really doesn't need to do anything. 3, 4. Okay. You know what? When Selen played 1 Quiet Night, I think Sid then discarded 2 cards, get the 1 Quiet Night back. He's going to play the One Quiet Night now. And then we won't have to deal with any more cards, any more infections coming up this turn. That's perfect. 1, 2, Kolkata and Santiago. Okay, Sid's turn. He is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We definitely won't have any outbreaks now, unless one of these is an epidemic. You know what, when Sid played One Quiet Night, we're going to discard these 2 cards to get it back again. And voila, we get to play it again. So he's going to draw his 2 cards, 1, 2. Needn't have worried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're going to discard One Quiet Night again, and now the game is essentially over. 1, and we're discarding these 4 to cure the black disease. All 3 diseases have been cured. That is still my objective from the last game. So we have saved the world again. All right, so I've been instructed to draw this card at the end of your first game in February before selecting your game end upgrade. So I'm going to do that. Win bonus. Scratch this bonus off if you win a game in February. Well, I need to go grab a coin for this. I forgot this again. And I have been instructed to keep drawing, so 1, 2, and then draw this card before you set up your first game in March. So what are these? I bet these are new events. Let's see. Yep, new events. New funded events. Local initiative. Place a quarantine marker on any 2 cities on the board. And new assignment. 1 player, including the active player, may discard their current character and replace it with an unused named character. That's tricky. Has to be a named character, which means it has to be a character that has been set up already. Place a quarantine marker on any 2 cities on the board. That's a pretty cool event. Okay. So let me grab a coin to scratch this off. Okie dokie. So, it took me a while, but I think I found a coin that's got a rough edge on it. And we shall begin this scratch operation. For any game played in March after setup and before the first turn, add 1 quarantine marker anywhere on the board. Perfect. Okay. Now I've got a whole bunch of crap to get rid of. Alright, let me get rid of that, and then I will do my game end upgrades. And of course I also have to get rid of this February card, so I'm going to tear this up. And that is Dust in the Wind. Alright, and our next one, our funding is going to go down by 2. So early March, our funding is going to be down to 2. I will then decide what my game end upgrades are going to be. Now, I think these character upgrades are pretty cool. Unfunded events sound pretty cool. But I don't think it's very often that I'm going to be eradicating 2 diseases in one game. So I think I'm going to do this positive mutation. To both the diseases I eradicated. So that means hemorrhagic fever is now efficient to sequence, as well as having a common structure. Hemorrhagic fever is, if I can get this sort of lined up properly, efficient to sequence and has a common structure. And our yellow disease, which I will have to come up with a name for, has a common structure. Making both of them a little bit easier to cure. All right. What would our yellow disease be called? Let's see here. Something about jaundice, maybe? Or, let's see. What do you call yellow bile? Well, it could be cholera. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Cholera is yellow bile, I believe. Melon cholera is black bile. Cholera it is. All right. So CH, I believe. OLERA, and we have cholera ravaging the Latin America and Africa. Perfect. Okay. Works for me. And that is the end of the game. I just need to write everybody's sort of session logs and whatnot. But for now, today's date, 10/29. As you can see, it's been over half a year. Oh, write it here. And my players and characters, we have the quarantine, the medic, the dispatcher, and the scientist. That was a win. And then I will write similar things to the back of all the character cards. So that is it for this game. Set up the next one, and we can play into March now. But in the time being, that's all she wrote.